Hello and welcome to episode 26 of Rival Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Croft, and joining me as always, my esteemed co-host, the Harbinger himself, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Martin. How you doing, my
So
friend?
hard, so binged, doing well. That's how that word works. I'm just showing up to the Marvel show in a Superman hat. It's
That's not a Marvel character.
something like that. Yeah,
Have you seen the new Superman movie?
yeah. I really dug it. I want to kind of watch it again. I just don't want to pay a buttload of money to watch it again. But sometimes that's how these things work. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know, man. Some days, I work from home, and some days I realize I don't speak until my wife gets home at like
That
five
could be cool.
o'clock.
Like my voice. I went to use my voice and it just,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
just kind of cracked.
which is like a totally different, like a total change of pace from my last job. Like my last job, most days was just like back to back to back to back meetings and everything. But now, some days I don't have any meetings, and I'll just look at the time. I'm like, damn, it's 4:30, and I have not spoken once once today. So uh, yeah, but no, things have been good. We got a new cat. We found a well, I didn't find a cat. There was a tiny orange kitten that was lost at not lost, but it was like I guess it was just living in the at the playground of my wife's school, and there were just like a dozen kindergartners running around trying to catch this thing and terrorizing this cat. And finally, finally, the maintenance that worked there caught it in like a rodent trap. And my wife was like, "We have to have it." So, um,
So you accepted the cat. The cat, you didn't take it, but
no, it was
you welcomed him home.
yeah, I'm sure you've heard of the cat distribution system, right? The whole idea that
Mhm.
like the universe just kind of bestows upon you the responsibility of the cat. And that's what happened with our other cat, Edgar. We found him underneath a car when he was 3 months old, and he just became our cat after that. And we named this cat Poe, and had his first vet appointment today. He's like 6 weeks old, 7 weeks old, and
Pregnant.
pregnant. he's got he's he's got to be quarantined for 6 weeks because he has like ringworm or some shit. So
One of those. Now, can you get ringworm from the cat?
yeah, apparently humans can get ringworm.
Oh,
Now, if we just like wash our hands and stuff, we'll be fine. Which I've been washing my hands every time I touch it anyway, because it's like I didn't know
mm,
what diseases it had. So
ugh, yeah.
how did you come upon your cats? Like did you go to a shelter or did you find your
Yeah,
cats?
so both of our, and I have never found a cat. The two that we have now, we went to PetSmart, and
Mm,
I think the first cat, which was almost 10 years ago, they worked along with some like independent shelter. And so we adopted through them, and then the second time we went same PetSmart, but they were working with the SPCA in Martinsville, from Danville. So like the Danville PetSmart was working with the Martinsville SPCA, and so this one came technically from the SPCA. Might send him back. Could be cool.
mm.
He's a monster.
Every
I'm
time
keeping
I've
the cat.
like set out to get an animal, it's always a failure. I'll be like, "Hey, let's stop by PetSmart and see if they're doing one of those events with like a shelter or something on a Saturday or something." And either they're packing up to leave and don't have any animals left, or they're not there that Saturday or whatever. And then it's just the random times where, because like we got Link 2 days after I had my tonsillectomy. Uh, I was high on painkillers and I was on Instagram, and the shelter in Santa Monica posted a picture of Link, and we'd been looking for a small dog. And I was like, I couldn't talk. I just showed the picture to my wife, and we went down to the shelter and got him. I'm sure they thought I was like being held hostage or something because I was just not saying a word.
Did you see that? What the hell was the name of that movie? It was Charlie Day, and
Yeah, it's always sunny in
he
Philadelphia.
no, it was hilarious, but like, weirdly hilarious. It was what the fuck was the name of that movie? he's like he can't speak. He ends up like becoming an actor somehow.
No, the
Charlie
only
Day.
the only Charlie Day movie I think I've ever seen is Pacific Rim.
It
So
was Fool's Paradise. Came out like a year or two ago, and I don't know. It was pretty funny. It had a pretty cool cast. Yeah, yeah. I could go
I
back
do
and
want
watch
to
that again.
I do want to see that
Kind of a
new
big
Charlie
parody
Day
of
movie.
Hollywood. Which ones? What else has he got going?
I mean, it's not like his movie. He's not like the lead. It's like Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's
Honey
called
Don't.
either.
Honey Don't is what it's called.
That's right.
It's like a murder mystery. It's one of the Coen brothers. Um, yeah, it looks really good too. So I always say that. I mean, and I'll eventually watch it like when it comes to a streaming service or something like that. But yeah, it looks
Mm-hmm.
good. Um,
Go.
Anyway, this is Rival Banter. We get together every single week and we talk all things Marvel Rivals and push it out to you guys on podcast services and YouTube the very next day. On Wednesdays, you can listen to us and like, subscribe, follow us wherever. And then if you want to check us out on social media, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Rival Banter. Wherever you're checking us out, we appreciate you. We love you and we thank you for the support. We got a lot of comments this week about stuff, Seth. I put 5 in the show notes as always that we'll get to here in just a moment. But yeah, we posted up a lot of controversial opinions last week, it seems. And people had some stuff to say. So let's just jump into some of those comments now. So the first comment that we got, or that we're going to get to here, was in response to us kind of talking at the end of last week's episode. We kind of rated where we were on a scale from 1 to 10 with the game right now. And 50 Caleb 50 replied and said, as a Jeff main, 2 out of 10. They keep butchering my boy and making him unplayable outside of quick play. Seth, as somebody who has been playing quite a bit of Jeff, you've been playing a lot less Jeff as of late, but
Yeah, I've kind of been in my cap era right now. But I don't know. Like maybe it's the lobbies. Maybe it's where we do play a lot of quick play, and maybe it's where when we do play comp, we're in what almost gold. Like we rarely even get into like a real competitive grind. If I don't think we have really since season 1 or 1.5, but maybe it was 2, something like that. I don't know. Like I still feel like I have fun with Jeff. I think it just kind of depends. I'm just kind of curious what 50 Caleb 50 means, how they're butchering him. Because I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways he's gotten better from where he used to be. Maybe not like season 0 or anything when people kind of first discovered him, but I don't know. Like I love the fact that you can still do that damage with your primary fire. I don't know.
I think it's probably, I think a lot of people who hold this opinion are the people who mained Jeff before the rework and who like to
Yeah.
play a certain kind of play style with Jeff. So I think that's part of it. I also think, somebody was actually on the Rival subreddit earlier today and was like, can somebody explain to me why Jeff is considered a bad support still and give it to me in detail? And nobody had replied to that comment yet, but it kind of had me thinking about like what is it about Jeff that is kind of frustrating to see him picked in a lobby when you're kind of needing a second healer? And I think the main thing for me is just his ultimate kind of takes him out of the fight, right? And especially as like a tank main, where I might not get swallowed up if he's like trying to save the back line on a dive or something like that, and I'm really relying on that constant input of healing. Jeff's ultimate uh, does a disservice to the people that he's unable to swallow out of it. So I think that's part of one of the reasons. But I mean, his healing output feels a lot better now than I think it used to, and um, yeah, he's a lot less annoying to deal with because he can't do the whole like backline stuff. You have a more consistent experience of what you're going to get when somebody locks in a Jeff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I feel like he constantly gets those ults even faster because you've got that kind of
Yeah,
like dual input. Like you get the charge from 2 different fronts, right? Attack and from your healing. So I don't know. Like I would love to hear more about that. But he's what you said has kind of been true of him since the game launched, right? Like that ult's always taken him out of the fight. So I'm just not sure why he doesn't get as much love anymore. I feel like I'd raise hell every time that I get him. I'm effing stuff up, but it happens.
Yeah, I think the way that you play it though, I think you try to really understand the angles and get that like you're able to kind of hit multiple people at one time. And I feel like a lot of times when I'm playing with other Jeffs, that's just not the way that they play. They kind of stand right behind their tank and just dump healing into one person as if they're some other kind of a healer.
Yeah, I wasn't good at geometry in high school, but in rivals, I try to be better.
Yeah. King Felix 88 honestly just has a lot of ideas here that I'd love to get some quick thoughts from you on here, Seth. We
Hmm.
were talking about whether or not the game should just add roll queue now, and King Felix replied with this comment. He said, "Why no roll queue? Why no 6v6 DPS only with health packs everywhere?" He's talking about just modes. Uh, why no hero challenge mode? What's after Lord? Why no voice chat only lobbies? Now, Seth, you can respond to any, all, or none of those, but are any of those ideas things that you think are worth responding to?
I don't know. I almost wanted to read this as like I don't know if King Felix is being sarcastic or if these are all like actual ideas. They're not all necessarily bad ideas, but they're so kind of scattered all over the place. I wasn't totally sure how to read it. Um, I don't know. I personally still don't mind not having the roll queue. I think it'd take a lot more for me to get convinced to embrace something like that. But again, I know that's something that people really do want. So it's for me, it's really whatever. I don't know. 6v6 DPS could be a cool mode. I just don't want it all the time by any means. And although we've run it and it has worked here and there, it's rare, but it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. If only maybe a 6v6 DPS mode would be good, if only to just like pull some DPS players out of other queues to get them to want to go like compete and ego people in this other mode. I don't necessarily understand why it would need to be like a team based mode if you're just running 6v6. Like what coordination are you trying to play with at that point? But then you're just playing like what's the mode in like Doctor
Like,
Strange's.
oh, what is it called? Mayhem? Is that it, or is it
Yeah, something like that. I
no
can't,
Doom match?
yeah, Doom match. That's it.
Okay.
Um, like at that point, you're just kind of playing like a free for all, right? So, um, I don't know, but I do like the hero challenge mode idea of just like individual challenges where you can kind of log on and you know, if I'm waiting on you to jump on, if you're finishing up a Death Stranded mission, or what's the new game you're playing, some Lord of the Rings something.
I'm on the Hobbit. It's Tales of the Shire. It's like a cozy life sim. I'm gardening. I'm cooking meals for my fellow hobbits, inviting them over
Oh.
to different places. It's a vibe.
Is there any combat or anything in it?
Oh no, no, no. It's like zero
Oh.
friction. You just like you plant a garden. I'm pretty sure you don't even have to like you're supposed to water it. I don't think you have to. Like it's just you just live, you decorate your hobbit hole. It's got pretty middling reviews, but it's pretty fun. Like I'm really enjoying it. Just logging on, spending an hour here and there, fishing, doing that stuff.
Nice. But anyway, yeah, like rather than, jumping into a quick play if I'm waiting for other friends to log on, like having some sort of like challenge mode where you have to complete a certain something on a map, like, like a time trial kind of thing with Spider-Man where you have to go through a map in a certain amount of time, collecting a certain amount of things and or something like that. I think
Maybe
something like
like a
that could be cool.
checkpoint run or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or like using strange portals to do something, some geometric feat of strength. I don't know. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I've gotten back into Balatro. Have you ever played Balatro? Have we talked about
I
Balatro?
I dabbled. My problem is I was never a poker person, so like I have a very rudimentary understanding of what even constitutes a strong poker hand. So I struggle with Volatro a little bit.
So I got like really into it when it first came out, and it's gotten its hooks back in me now that it's back on mobile, and I just love the whole like min maxing, trying to like outdo yourself kind of thing on runs. And so the idea of like a hero challenge mode to me is really cool. I have been asking myself that next to last question a lot though, which is the what comes after Lord, right? Like I don't see myself getting a Lord on every single character. I might get like Lord on every support character or something like that, but I have I think I have enough proficiency points on like Invisible Woman to have Lord like twice over or something like that. Like so
Probably, yeah.
so I'd love to see them add like tiers above Lord in subsequent seasons where you can kind of aim to kind of prestige your lordship on characters. I don't know. Have you given any thought to what might be cool to come after Lord?
I mean, a little bit. I just like, what else do you do? Like, do you prestige it and start over? Like, what does the start over process look like if it's kind of like a COD-esque thing? Is it maybe just that you add tiers or like add some kind of progression? Maybe you reset to some less cool name than Lord, but you end up working up to Master or something like that, right? I don't know.
Maybe you get like
Champion.
borders on your portraits or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that could be cool. Or, I don't know, like even maybe you get borders up until you hit the next big rank, like the next end rank, and then you get an even cooler little thumbnail picture. I don't know. I mean, you know me, I love that kind of stuff. It's just like there's so many possibilities, I guess, for what it could be.
Yeah. Then Ramkoff responded to a video where we were talking about the kind of imbalance problem where there's just so many more DPS characters than there are tanks and healers in the game. And he says, it's at least partially a problem created by having to adapt from existing characters as opposed to creating your own from scratch. A little foreshadowing for some stuff we're going to talk about later in the show. He continues, a lot of the abilities the strategists have are, quote, creative reinterpretations, end quote, of their actual powers in lore. Most duelists can be straightforwardly adapted into the game without as much thought. And Seth, I added this comment in, but there were actually several comments that we got that kind of echoed this sentiment. And I'm not sure if I agree with this idea. I'm curious on your take of just this idea that like designing duelist is sort of the path of least resistance when you look at a superhero character because it's like the easiest way to interpret their abilities and their powers. And so a lot of people were just kind of saying it's the lazy way out for a designer to look at a superhero and say, well, that person's just another duelist, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where like I have the opposite problem. I think where I'm always trying to figure out a way that this character, like, what role could they fit into? Like with Blade, we were so hoping that he was going to be a little bit more beefy, a little more tanky than he actually is. I don't know that I buy into that. Like, I think that they probably do it because that's what the most people like to play, right? Tragically, and for better or for worse, mostly for worse. But this I don't know. Again, like, yeah, I do think that because we're working with a superhero franchise, that is the path of least resistance, like you said. It's just unfortunate. I do wish that they took a little bit more creative. I almost said creative wiggle room with some of these roles, like making Emma Frost a tank. I love that. I wish that there was a little bit more of that kind of thing going on. Reimagining her as a thick, choking mommy, top-notch decision on NetEase's part.
And I think Emma Frost is the perfect like kind of proof point to say that this isn't the issue, right? The issue isn't that there are these creative restraints around these existing characters within the universe. I think you can kind of take any of the Marvel universe characters and say, here's how you make them into any of these kinds of roles because I think there's other characters that aren't necessarily in their natural roles, right? But I do agree with what you said, which is just naturally most people are going to play duelists. You want to give people the most options to play duelists because you want them to find the characters that they want to play, that they want to spend money on. for skins and emotes and the other sort of microtransaction and cosmetics in the game, right? So it just makes sense to invest more time and energy into making duelists than it does to make characters in these other roles. But then you end up where we're at right now, which is just where you're not really incentivizing people to explore outside of that role because there's just so many options to find your play style within the duelist role. Then Jeremy Baramy, what is that from? That's a reference.
Is it? It sounded familiar, but I wasn't sure if it was just like the play on words or like whatever it is. But Jeremy Bearimy.
Jeremy Baramy. Oh, it's from The Good Place. You watched The Good Place? Great show.
Yeah, a long time ago. I did like a quick run through.
Uh, Responding to my idea that if you have three, that we could do a change where if there's 3 DPS on, you get like a 5% damage reduction for your DPS characters or something like that. And he says, penalizing comps is a terrible idea. And, I think I can get on board with it being a terrible idea the more I think about it, right? Because
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that was just kind of a spitball, like just an idea floated out there. You were saying, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, you're good. You're good. It's just because the disadvantage of playing 3 DPS is just you don't have a second tank to absorb the damage, right? So you already have nerfed yourself in that way, and so I guess my thought process wasn't so much to penalize your team as a whole for it because you're already penalizing yourself, like I just said. It's more so penalizing the individuals that are making the decision to go 3 DPS that they're not going to be able to do as much as they would maybe want to in that game with the damage reduction.
Yeah, I do agree that you're kind of like already like that is the penalty is that you're losing that like that absorption, right? That sponge, that damage absorber in the front line. So yeah, I can get on board with that. I feel like we did make a lot of people mad talking about that more than usual in last week's episode.
I love it, man. I don't hold any of my opinions about this game as precious. First of all, because it's just a game, and who fucking cares? Like at the end of the day, we're all going to be dead and getting eaten by worms.
At, by the end of the day,
By the end of today, we will all be dead. um, I don't know. How much of the comments do you read, Seth?
it just depends. I try to check in with them here and there. I don't really reply just because I never reply to anything. I don't
I
even
don't
really
really.
like anything.
Yeah, I'm bad at
Um,
that too.
just in general. I try to like our posts when I see them, but yeah, I log in. I even read like the hidden comments sometimes when lone ones seem to be like popping off. And like it is what it is. I know we can't make everybody happy with all the things that we say, but I do appreciate like the dialogue too, like seeing different points of view. So keep it up. Don't stop people.
Yeah,
Don't
for
troll me
sure.
though. Don't you troll me.
Look, I don't care. Say whatever you want. As long as you're not being jerks to one another in the comments, that's the only thing I care about. It's when you start like calling other people like pieces of shit and stuff like that that I start to
Mm.
like. But one kind of thing that I love when people start sharing their opinions on these on our videos is when they always caveat whatever their opinion's about to be with whatever their rank is, right? They're like, well, as a GM player, well, as a peak celestial, as if like whatever their peak rank is justifies their opinion more because I guess their time playing this game and their enjoyment of the game is more valuable than other people who don't achieve that rank. Um, and then they use that as some sort of line that like invalidates anybody else's opinion. But it's always like this arbitrary line too, right? Where it's like and you can kind of tell and because I read basically every comment we get. I don't respond or like most of the stuff that comes in, but you can always tell what somebody's rank is, even if they don't say it, if they mention a rank in the comments, because it's always around whatever they say, right? Where they're like, yeah, man, I guess that strategy works if you're some trash like plat player or below. And it's like, okay, well, that's a diamond player. That's somebody who got to diamond and just thinks everybody below diamond sucks. And it's just like, look, guys, we all are spending time playing this game. And I think whether you're shitting it in bronze every single day or you're up in celestial, like we should all have the space to have an opinion. And all of our opinions are valid about this game. So I don't know. I've just noticed that in my reading of the comments, and I find that funny. So you can be amused by it if you so choose on your next reading of the comment section of our video, Seth. All
I
right.
plan to.
Next comment comes from the Lavender Flowers. The discussions about the thing continue. He says,
This is the big one, folks.
yeah, this is the important topic. The reason people are tuning in. Says, can he grow bush or grow rock bush gravel? And Seth, I know you have some thoughts on this, having seen the latest Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, so very, very light spoilers for the Fantastic Four movie. This doesn't know any important element of the plot, but I'm gonna announce it. I'm gonna count down from 5, and then I'm gonna say this spoiler that has to deal with how hair works on the thing. Not his thing necessarily, but probably. Here we go. 5, and then give it like a minute, and then we'll circle back, but and skip the teeny tiny spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the movie, he grows a beard at one point for reasons that we don't have to talk about because that might extend the spoiler. But it does get a beard, and it's just like big rock beard. Like the rocks just kind of poke out. They're kind of prickly, kind of like gravel, like he said. Um, and like you see him like at one point he's shaving or doing the thing equivalent of shaving, and it's with like a sandblaster, like a I don't know, like one of those big spinny things that you're like just grinding a sander maybe or something like an industrial strength one. And so that makes me like truly believe that Lavender Flowers is right on the money. Like he's got to be able to grow bush. He's got something going on down there that he has to manage or maintain. And he probably has to because that's some pretty tight spandex, right? Like
Mhm.
that's kind of thing that you would see poking through here and there. So he's got to keep it clean.
Yeah. You don't need the forest coming up over the fence down there. So,
The forest, the trees out of the forest.
but given the fact that the hair pushes through the rock like that, makes me assume that is not how his penis works. That like
Mm.
that's not his erection isn't a similar thing as his hair. So, but yeah, no, I think that's pretty much canonically solved by the movie that he can grow bush and that it's just that kind of a rock, whatever it looks like in the movie, just down there. So
hmm Maybe a little like stubbier, shorter, curlier. It's
yeah, for
curly
sure,
rock look like.
for sure. That question brought to you by Manscaped.
We got it.
All right.
We will.
We appreciate all the comments, you guys. If you want your comments read and responded to on the show, make sure you're commenting either on Spotify, on YouTube, or over on TikTok or Instagram. Seth, what did you get up to in Rivals this week? Be
I'm gonna be
honest.
just truly honest, and you know what the answer is gonna be because I had to confess it to you the other day. For like the first time since like I think like January of this past year, I only played like one time, except for when I like went to the beach. No, I played at the beach a little bit. So like other than that, I played one time in this whole past week. One stinking night, and I just really didn't have the motivation. I'm not retiring from the game or anything like that by any means, but I just wasn't after like talking about it last week. I just really wasn't feeling it, and I will feel it again. It just didn't happen this week. I was doing other things, working, twerking, all
Cooking for the
that stuff. So
Shire.
it just yeah, cooking for the Shire, the people those little guys need to eat. So yeah, I mean, that just
Dude, running
things
a
got in the way.
restaurant in the Shire is probably like booming business because they eat like 12 meals a day.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a little chart you can buy to like keep in your home, like you know, breakfast, second breakfast, elevensies,
Yeah.
afternoon tea,
Damn.
all the hits.
So you're raking it in.
Well, you're not running a business. You're just like you're like hosting little dinner parties and stuff like that.
Oh.
Breakfast parties. You meet up at the Green Dragon. That's like the local pub in Bywater.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Uh, I played a little bit this week. I logged on a couple times, but yeah, I definitely am kind of just I'm sitting in the season 4 waiting room right now. That's kind of where I see myself right now. I want to get to gold so I can get my skins and just kind of get back to season 4 and uh get back into it when season 4 rolls around. And we'll talk more about season 4 here when we get to our topic of the day. But I did get my Lord Cloak and Dagger. I did buy the new Cloak and Dagger skin as well, and it looks awesome in game. The new sound effects are great. Um, yeah, because I had just been using the last season pass skin for them, and so it was nice to have something new. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I was logging on and I'd play like 2 or 3 games and be like, all right, it's kind of it's kind of silly. A lot of 4 or 5 DPS games where I'm like the only healer or whatever, and just gonna log off and come back when maybe there's a cool new tank or strategist in season 4 or whatever. But I'm I got to decide on who my next lord is going to be though. I guess yours is Cap, right? That's what you're working on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm at cap right now. Maybe like half cap, and then it's gonna be a long grind with Centurion for him. But I do think he's one of those characters. Like when you see a Lord, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
hello, and so I wants it. I wants it bad.
yeah. I need to. Who's a good tank duo with Cap that I haven't lorded yet? Because like things good with Cap because you can just run at the maybe Hulk. Maybe
Yeah,
me and you just
yeah.
start going Hulk Cap and start just terrorizing people's backlines.
I can see that too. Yeah, yeah. Even I mean, really, almost anybody. Like I feel like Strange could be good with Hulk too. Or no, sorry, with Cap too. Like little shield, big shield thing going on. Cap terrorizes the back line. You know, you hold it down, defend the team. Could be
Yeah,
cool.
Venom, dude. I think I
I may be
played Venom
playing
one
more.
time.
I like Venom. He's fun. I just haven't spent a lot of time with him, but I always seem to like him when I do. What is it? I might be playing a little bit more. Our esports season is going to be getting started here in a couple of weeks, and so I'll be like spending like actual time in our little studio, running matches, watching matches. So as long as I can like finagle the PlayStation from the students, then yeah, it's
How long does your esports season run?
it just really depends. The main part is from like early September, mid September to like mid November. So like
Hmm. So it's like the
almost like
football
3
season.
months. Yeah, it's kinda it's happens, like, between, like, the, like, fall and winter sports, the way that, I guess, Play Versus runs it. And then they have other sometimes, like, secondary leagues that run a little bit later, like, after the regular Smash Ultimate season, with, like, teams of 3, 3v3. They have, like, a solos tournament that went for a week or 2. I think they do that with college football too. So, like, there's different stuff that they can do, and the kids tend to try to do all of it so they can keep it running.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, let's jump into the news for the week. We actually have quite a bit to get to this week before we get to our topic. And our first item on the list is the Iron Man Extrembiote skin releases this week. And Seth, I looked all over for any kind of a render for this skin. And the only thing I could find was the image from the like roadmap that they showed, which is weird because normally on Tuesdays they release like the stuff that's going to be in the shop this week. Um, but yeah, the Iron Man Extrembiote skin. Have you seen it?
I mean, I glanced at it. Looks cool. I thought I saw Iron Man. I thought I saw. I don't know if it was real, but like another workup of it. It was like paired with an invisible woman. Looked like a swimsuit skin. Hubba hubba. But yeah, again, I don't know. It looks cool, like in theory. I don't. Again, I'm not really an Iron Man guy, but if I played him more, it'd probably be something that I would look into for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready to be done with all the like symbiote skins and just ready to move aesthetically on to the next thing. I like what they're trying to do with kind of keeping the whole season on theme, but between this and we got the new Klyntar map, and then we have another new Klyntar map, and we have just a whole fucking season pass worth of symbiote skins and all this sort of stuff. I'm kind of like, all right, I've had my fill of the symbiotes. Let's move on.
It it is a lot. I know I was really pumped for it. Right before season 3 and as season 3 launched, but I'm kind of getting a little fatigued because it does seem like I feel like we've seen more symbiote stuff than we've seen anything else, just kind of back to back to back. And again, it's cool. I like it. I'm still working on getting my thing symbiote, but yeah, uh, it's it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to be like this balls to the walls with the season 4 theme, and where like almost all of the skins are kind of in that same vein and everything too. But really curious to see what that looks like. Let's come back to the second story on the list after, because the next one is also about cosmetics here. Because our new event comes next week or this week, and we've got a post from the Marvel Rivals Leaks subreddit from Unrivaled WW3. It's the Ancient Powers Awaken um, event that's coming, and it's going to include 3 skins. It's got the Venom skin, it's got in the Iron Fist skin, which are going to be the 2 premium skins, and then it has the Old Man Doctor Strange skin as the free skin. uh I'm kind of digging that Strange skin.
I am too. It took me a minute to figure out who he was before I like read the words down below, and yeah, I mean, he looks awesome. I was thinking it was Thor for a second because of the eye patch, but strange. I dig it. I'm looking. I want more of these old man skins too. Again, I don't want everybody to be old, so don't do that, NetEase. But don't symbiote it. But yeah, like that old man Logan skin. Gimme, like old man Hawkeye is something that could be cool for him that goes along with the comics too. Bring it on.
Yeah, when did I mean, the other event just started like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, something like that. I haven't finished it. I'm gonna be like dual eventing it for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is just like breakneck pace at this point. If this is what we're going to be doing, like every 2 weeks, we're going to be getting new passes and stuff like that. I probably will buy this pass though. This looks cool. I mean, obviously, we'll need to see everything that's included in it, but I like all 3 of these skins. I don't really play Iron Fist, but I imagine I'm going to be playing a lot more Strange, and I do want to try to pick up some Venom. Uh, but yeah, this one kind of speaks to me. What do you think about the Venom skin where you kind of see Eddie's face?
Oh, that's cool. Like I really like that. They've done that with the toys some. I don't think I have that Venom. I've got a couple Venoms back there somewhere. But yeah, they have one at least where you kind of have like the mouth is kind of opened like a hood around Eddie's face. You see like his blonde hair and stuff. So I really like this. I wonder how well it translates like in motion and how how good it looks like that. I think the fiery parts of it are a little distracting to me. Um, I would kind of just like it more if there was just kind of if that was an option with more of a traditional symbiote skin. But all in all, it's cool.
Now
I'll be buying it.
I'm gonna ask you a dumbass question, Seth. And this is just me not being a lore guy. I, for some reason, just thought Venom was like a creature. I didn't realize like it was a suit. So like, is he not like consumed by the symbiote or whatever?
So I mean, it's a long, long, long history. It basically, and there are different like origin stories for the suit as well. Like the first one goes way back to like an arc they've got coming up in the MCU, like the whole battle world kind of thing, where they go off to this battle planet and battle it out. It's like this big contest between factions, whatever. Um, Basically Spider-Man gets this suit and or like this thing kind of just latches onto him and he like wakes up and all of a sudden he's in a black suit and does this little funny pose with his hands and it kind of it follows him, it goes home with him and he's Black Spider-Man for a while and then it starts to cause problems. What we see in like the Tobey Maguire movies is the symbiote again kind of like latches on to him. This little like black goo finds its way to him. It's drawn by his strong emotions, like his angst going at all the Spider-Man-y stuff going on in his life. And they just kind of vibe that way. It kind of like uses him and feeds off that power and fuels that power a little bit. So yeah, pretty much any story though. He's not like Venom is a creature. It's like a conscious creature. Like if you watch the movies, they do a pretty cool job of like showing you that interplay between like Eddie and between Venom the symbiote because they both have voices. They like constantly are talking to each other. Venom like comes out of him and like this big weird tentacle head thing, and they'll have conversations. I think the second movie was just like a straight up romantic comedy, like a bromance between Venom and Eddie Brock. So yeah, I'm sure the symbiote can function somewhat on its own, but it's more so kind of built on to whoever the host is, like a kind of a secondary personality.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, thank you for that explanation. I mean, I knew like Eddie was a person, but I knew that there was also like the second character that was like, or second voice that was Venom. So that's like a get a good explanation there. So thank you for that.
Mm, you're so
Also,
welcome.
we haven't really gotten like a serious Venom skin in a while. I mean, we got like orange Venom, we got bubblegum pink Venom. So it's nice to see like a a really good Venom skin for the first time in a while since like what the Christmas skin or something like that. It's been
It
a
it
long
has been a
time.
minute, yeah, and since, like, they relaunched that ice sickle skin or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Next item on the list, we got a new trailer for Resource Rumble, which also shows off obviously the Resource Rumble map, which is a new Klyntar map called what's it called? Throne of Knull. Seth, I'm gonna hit play on this trailer right now if you want to watch along
Mm,
with me.
mhm.
Um, so I'm going to try to explain this mode the way that I understand it, and you can let me know if this makes sense to you as well. So the map has these 2 points where the first point will kind of unlock and you will fight over this point. And when you have control over that point, your team will gather resources from that point. Each point has like a finite amount of resources that you can gather from it. And so like let's just say there's 100 points of resources that can be gathered. You can so your team gets 60, the other team gets 40, the other point unlocks and you get there's another 100 like resources up for grabs, right? So you try to control the point, gather as many as you can, and then finally the third point, Noel's throne unlocks, and you have to hold that and try to pass the 360 that's shown there at the top, 360 resources in order to win. And it's kind of this game of tug of war. So as you hold the point, you're taking resources from the other team and gathering resources of your own and vice versa, and you gather resources faster the longer the game goes on. So that's kind of what I gathered from this. Does that seem like a
I think that does make sense, kind of from what I watched it earlier, I kind of was like, "What exactly is happening?" I was kinda more curious. They didn't show multiple points going at the same time, so I assumed it was that way, but also the points are out of order. It's like BAC. Um, up at the top of the screen. So I didn't know if this was kind of going to be like we mentioned at one point wanting like what was the Overwatch 2 mode where you had 2 points and you had to capture both of them in any order?
uh I don't remember. It's sort of it kind of reminds me of Hard Point though in COD.
Y- Yeah, the way this is working here, I think that is more what it looks like for sure. I just wasn't sure, but again, like where we don't see multiple points being juggled at the same time, I'm thinking it's a lot more like what you read there.
Yeah, and they do randomly unlock. They mentioned that at the beginning of the trailer. So
Okay, okay, I'm gonna skip right by that.
yeah, so there is no set order of how they unlock it. It is random, and I guess that's so that you don't like one team doesn't gain some kind of advantage. I look, I think this is kind of, reminiscent of modes in other games, but I don't think I've seen anything totally like it. It doesn't seem like a ripoff or, like a carbon copy of a mode. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I like that they're kind of introducing this into quick play to start so that we can test it out and community can get feedback before they just throw this right into competitive. But I love that they're kind of trying some new things to make competitive a fresh experience again.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, I like the look of this. I'm definitely ready for something new, and yeah, I hope they don't start like just churning these modes out like butter, just boom, 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 skin style. But yeah, I'm all for it. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what it's got in store.
I'm not super excited about it being another Clintar Clintar map,
Yeah, yeah, but what are you gonna do?
but I get it. Like that's the theme that they've kind of went all in on for this season. But I'm just ready for season 4 so that we can kind of move past this. Uh, because I don't know, man. There's just been something about these Clintar maps where, and we've talked about this with Midtown, where like the two the two Midtown maps look so different from one another, but these Clintar maps all just kind of look and feel very, very similar to each other. Not that they're like phoned in by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think that the theme in and of itself gives you a lot of room to uh, explore creatively. Like it's all
Yeah, I mean,
just
it's very, very kind of mute, very basic, very like just like it's not monotone, but like dual tone, if that's a thing. It's just a lot of brown, a lot of black, a lot of sand, a lot of dirt, and that can be cool. But like just seeing it so much does again, like I think that plays into what you said earlier with that symbiote fatigue. Like we're getting skins, we're getting all the maps. I would have almost rather seen. I still like the idea. I think I had way back when we knew we were getting Emma Frost and that kind of Krakoa theme was having maybe like a regular map and just maybe like something in the X-Men universe or something with, since it's, tangentially related to the Phoenix, maybe having something like the X Mansion or I don't know, some other Krakoan locale or like the like Cyclops moon home or something like that, off in this little moon bubble, and maybe having that get symbiotified, like maybe like progressively getting taken over at different points of the map, kind of like how we get reconstructed going through Dracula's castle or through Midtown in New York. Something like that could be cool. I just like seeing the same planet that's pretty dull, Null's dull planet. It's pretty repetitive for me. I'm ready for something new for sure.
and I get not only that they're kind of leaning into this theme, but they're trying to keep the narrative and the lore of this game kind of tightly intact as they continue through. And as a guy who just doesn't really care about all that stuff, I'm just not overly concerned about it. I like what they did with the season 2 stuff where they were like, "Hey, we're going to do something different with the New York Eternal Night map where it's going to actually be like Dracula's castle plop down in the middle of New York, and we're going to use that as an opportunity to kind of tease out Blade as a playable character that's coming eventually in a future season or something like. I guess that did I say season 2? I think that was season 1 for New York. But yeah, so like I like what they were doing with that, where they were kind of using the map to bridge the themes in a creative way, whereas this all just feels like they really went all in on this one thing for this one season, and I just feel a little fatigued by it. So we'll see where season four takes us, though. Next item on the list, NetEase says that they have been given the green light to create original characters. And so this is actually reported on a site called MP First, which I'm not super familiar with, but from Alex Coe, it says while there's no shortage of characters to draw from Marvel's decades long history, could we see an original character design at some point in Marvel Rivals' future? That seems like a real possibility given NetEase recent statements to us about it at the recent Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament in Guangzhou, China. It goes on to say, speaking to MP first, we asked Marvel Rivals game director Guang that question, and his answer was quite interesting to say the least. Um, they said one thing about Marvel projects lately is the introduction of original characters, be that in movies or shows. Is that something that you're even allowed to do down the road? Just having a completely original character for the game that may be introduced to the full Marvel universe later. And then he answered, quote, yes, we are allowed to introduce original characters into Marvel Rivals, end quote. Seth, do you want to see Marvel Rivals toying around with original characters?
I don't know if I do. The fact that they're saying this makes me think that it would happen. I think it's a slippery slope. Like it can be really cool if you're going to do that. You've got to make sure you're putting out a banger of a character. I think it's really easy for licensed games to do this kind of stuff, and then it just kind of falls flat or they're not memorable. Dragon Ball did this years ago when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, and I forget which number she had, but there's this android lady doctor character. Kind of has like the Majin look almost to her. She and I remember very little about that story, but she was like an exclusive character for the story. She had like a small cameo in one of the movies or an anime episode somewhere after that. And that stuff's cool, but like I don't feel like those are typically super memorable characters. I remember very little about her, and I played a butt ton of that game. So it is what it is. Sometimes it's cool, but again, you got to put a lot of care and do it just right for it to really be something special. And I just haven't. I don't feel like I've seen a lot of that. Comments, correct me if I'm wrong. If you can think of a lot of original characters in licensed content, licensed IP like this.
Well, we have one in Rivals because we have Luna Snow, who
Well, she's not
she's not no seat
made.
to yeah, she's not an original character to Rivals, but she is an original character to a video game for Marvel Future Fight. And this is my issue with it. I'm not saying that as a reason to say I don't have an issue with it. I actually have an issue with it because
Mm,
okay, and look, I might be mistaken here, so comments can correct me if I'm wrong here. But from what I understand, Luna Snow was designed to be added into Marvel Future Fight. And the person who one of the people that was behind the design and creation of Luna Snow is now working at NetEase on Marvel Rivals as well, right? And I think sometimes what tends to happen in a situation where a game kind of has their special creation in the midst of all of these, Iron Man exists in the zeitgeist of culture beyond your game and almost kind of beyond Marvel in and of itself, right? Like you can just go to Walmart and buy an Iron Man shirt and have no fucking clue what a Marvel comic is. And so when you have original characters alongside these really established characters, they start to become kind of like your pet projects, and you really start to invest a lot of time and energy, and you want people to love that character specifically. And I think I don't know. I don't necessarily buy into this conspiracy, but there is a conspiracy that I've seen floated around on Reddit where it's like, hey, the reason that Luna never gets nerfed is just because this is a character that was kind of created in the video game universe. They have one of the original designers of Luna Snow on their team, so they want people to fall in love with Luna Snow as the character and not necessarily as like this playable hero within the game. And so
yeah, that's kind of what I think I meant by like she's got to be like this character would have to be like something special. Like we love Luna because we love and hate her because she's just so great. Like she's an S tier still to this day. A strategist in the meta. So definitely, definitely, she's definitely an exception. But again, like it's kind of also like at least we were kind of familiar. Like people knew that she was out there, even if she's not a super well established character. Introducing new things, especially with people that are as finicky as is the gaming community or the competitive gaming community, can be tough. So it will be a concern for me. It will be when we see it, but NetEase has very few misses for me. So I'm optimistic. I don't want to shoot it down. I don't want to pee on the parade. Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
I think so. I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to do that. But the other thing is just NetEase has license to create basically any character from the Marvel universe from the last 85 years, right? And I think that there are so many characters that already exist that would be interesting for them to approach that. I mean, we've seen this with like Jeff the Land Shark, right? That's like lesser known Marvel character, Squirrel Girl, there's plenty of existing characters within the Marvel universe that you can kind of build off of that existing lore and bring more light to them as a character that then I can get invested in them and say, man, I want to know more about them. I'm going to go read their comics. If there's an old fucking 90s cartoon about them, I'm going to go watch the 90s cartoon or something. Like you can get more deeply invested. And I think in order to just kind of stay true to the vision of the game, it makes more sense to just stick in that direction. So I'd much rather see them do that. And maybe, who knows, five 5 years down the road, it's some big anniversary or something. They're like, hey, now we're dropping our first original character or something like that. It's just not a bag I hope they dip into soon. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
or too often for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause there's just plenty of places to explore.
Hmm.
Let's see. I think I accidentally put a link in the middle of a sentence here. There we go. Next item on the list. New skill customization options might be coming to the game. This is another leak from the Marvel Rivals Leak subreddit. And this was posted by Hisoka1001, but it's a leak from at Rival Psylocke over on X. It says, skin customization kill effects. Assets were recently added to give skins customizable kill feed and elimination effects similar to proficiency. So you can see those down here where, the kill feed effects would change depending on the skins that you have equipped, and the kill effects would change based on the skins that you have equipped. Seth, thoughts on this?
I love it. You know me, I'm all about these kind of like little things that just kind of build up. And these are like very little things, right? Like, a lot of players, I don't imagine even notice the kill feed up in that top corner, right? Um, this sounds good to me. I'd love any kind of little personal touch that you can add to the game. It just kind of makes everything more fun. And again, we're getting more and more of this stuff as the game goes on. I had never even thought of this possibility, like doing these little changes like these here. So cool, bring it on, give me more of it, NetEase. I'll take it.
I think as long as it's kind of added into the skin packages that we're already getting, and it's not kind of, I don't know. I don't want to see this game go the way of Fragpunk, where there's just like 40,000 different, you know, currencies and upgrade systems and all this sort of stuff, where I'm having to figure out different ways to unlock shit and all that. But I love it. I mean, I've got my Jeff handbag on Emma, and you get the little Jeff the land shark swimming on the side of the screen when you have it equipped, and I love that sort of stuff too. So I'm all for this sort of thing as long as it doesn't kind of muddy the waters in terms of just the way that the game engages me, uh, as far as the systems are concerned.
100%.
All right, Seth. Well, let's wrap it up today with our topic of the day. And Seth, we last week I titled our episode "Our Most Negative Episode Yet," and I think
Hmm.
we've done a pretty good job over the first 25 episodes of this show of keeping it pretty even keeled. We don't get too high, we don't get too low. We try to give the benefit of the doubt to the devs. We don't, and so I wanted to make things right by saying, look, we haven't lost our love entirely for this game. We're still doing this show. We still plan on doing this show for a long time to come. And so, as we look forward to season 4, I think, like I said, I'm in the season 4 waiting room. I think that's probably where you're at this point too.
Yeah.
What is it that we're hoping to see in season 4 that's going to help this game get its hooks back in us? And so this can be anything, Seth. Balance changes, new characters, new maps, new systems, new modes, anything you want to see in season 4. Not predictions, just stuff you want.
Just straight up nudity. Just no. I two things really come to mind for me. I think the biggest one, and we've said it before, is just I need a tank or I need a strategist. I need something, and I would like them to be kind of game changing in some way. I don't think we've really seen the meta get super shaken up in the last couple of seasons, if it's really ever been shaken up all that much. Maybe I'm having goldfish memory here or
Well, I
something,
mean,
but
I do think Emma was like an S tier tank, and then Invisible Woman was like an S tier strategist. But yeah, outside
true,
of that,
true. Like Ultron, didn't really like
yeah,
shake the foundations or anything like that. Same for
like Johnny didn't. Yeah,
yeah, same kind of thing. So and I mean, he was a duelist, so whatever,
yeah,
just more and more and more. So I definitely want to see something big in that department, kind of shifting gears and how we play, and kind of again incentivizing people to want to play outside of that duelist paradigm, right? I also really, really just want some razzle dazzle, some sparkle, and again, all these little cosmetic changes that are coming in are great, but I do not really like. I need something just colorful as hell in this next season. I want to go to Valhalla and see rainbow bridges or something like that, like the Bifrost. I want a beach or just something to look at. Like I need a spectacle. I need a scene. You know, some alien planet, whatever that may be. What about
yeah.
you?
Well, I want to go back to your first point about kind of a game changing strategist or or Vanguard. And if we do get another strategist, I really hope it's like a main strategist, like a main healer. And I think that's
Hmm.
kind of with Ultron and the Jeff rework and all that sort of stuff being the last sort of hits that we got in the strategist category, it really felt like we weren't getting that sort of new option for a main healer. We are getting a lot of options on the sort of like secondary healer, and so we started getting a lot of like Ultron Jeff lineups, right? A lot of
Yeah.
duelists who were begrudgingly going Ultron because we needed a second healer or something like that, when in reality they were just going to play him as a DPS and didn't really know how to use him as a healer anyway. And so if it's going to be a strategist, I hope it's somebody who just has like really great healing output and like healing is their primary function, and they have a lot of ways to sort of support their team in that regard. Um, and and so that's something that I'm kind of hoping for. As far as a tank, if it's a tank, I really want to see someone really brawly. I think I like Emma wasn't. I mean, I guess in diamond form, Emma can be kind of brawly, but I'm thinking something like Thing or Captain
I know
America.
you just fell in love. You finally felt the thing and you felt good.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that's it's a particular play style, right? I think there are advantages to different kinds of tanks, but yeah, I think me personally, and I know you feel that way now too. That's the most fun, just to jump in there, get dirty, and be able to bounce back out.
yeah, it's a tempo thing, right? Like there, to me, that's when Overwatch was always the most fun, and to me, that's when Rivals is the most fun. When like you can play with that tempo, when you kind of build off of the space that you're able to create with the the characters that you pick. And the Thing is a great character for that. I think you do a good job of that when you have two tanks on the field when you're playing Cap. Like you're able to create that space, right? And um, yeah,
I
so
try.
and so I really hope that like if we get another tank, it's someone who's kind of brawly. Um, so yeah, I hope to really see. I hope to see that. I also hope that we see a new map for um, this new game mode. I hope that they just are kind of going all in on the new game mode for season 4, where they're like, hey, we've tested it out. We've made these tweaks. Here's the changes that we made. And we're also releasing a second map to this. So we're adding it to the competitive pool. And here's two. So you get the Knull's Throne map, but we're also giving you this second map that's, I don't know. Do we even have like a leak of who the season 4 character is going to be?
I have not seen anything nearly like looking as official as Elite can be. I've seen little thumbnails of like Daredevil floating around and stuff like that, but of course those are like pretty random and few and far between. So I think it's anybody's game at this point. I would love to see them like just shadow drop, ghost drop, whatever you want to call it, two new maps at the start of season 4. I think that would be kind of a cool way to do it too. Like, um, it's probably a good thing that we haven't had this game mode in rotation since the start of 3.5 because one map's just going to get stale pretty soon, right? So we've
Mhm.
got just a few weeks left in this season, something to look forward to, right? So especially if it is a hit, I think it would be beneficial to do that and just kind of give again more incentive and just make it a little bit more diverse, kind of like give you a kind of just more room to get in and kind of play around, learn some new maps, and kind of really feel it out.
Yeah. I'd also love to see a new like special event mode. We had like the Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol. We had the clone mode. I'm so terrible at remembering what shit was called, but you know what I'm talking about. So like, but we haven't really had anything since Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol in terms of just like special event modes. Something that's just kind of, look forward to it coming in on the weekends and hop on, play a couple games to get some challenges. Like all of the events that we've gotten just kind of feel like, hey, play the game and you're going to make progress. We really just want you to buy this thing, and less effort around just like gamifying it to where like we we had the Galacta event with like the board game for the one widow skin and stuff like we haven't gotten any of those sorts of things in the last couple months, I don't think.
Yeah, I think they did a good job the first couple of events. Like, I really enjoyed that Jeff specific game mode around Christmas time, like the
Hmm.
winter event, where
Yeah.
it was pretty much like Splatoon. You just covered ground with ice or with his water or whatever, and you wanted to have the most ground covered by the end. I think that they've kind of maybe been trying to find a balance. Like the Ultron event, you just had to tune in, play a bunch of games, and eventually you were going to get all the stuff. The other modes I think were more fun, like those first two, are like kind of playing around. Like the Jeff mode was fun, but the event stuff, like where you went through the process of unlocking whatever it was, I think it was a skin and a card and some stuff like that. That part wasn't as cool, but they've kind of done both well, just maybe not always at the exact same time.
Hmm. Yeah, just trying more stuff. I mean, you logged on this week and you were like, wait, are the new skins that they dropped like an event too? Because they had it under the event tab for some reason, and it was like, no, like it's just a store update, but that's not an event. Like, I don't know. The UI is getting messy, and it's getting weird what they're promoting and how they're promoting it. Like, I wish they'd get back to some of the stuff that really made the game fun in those early days, which was the gamifying of the progression, outside of
Yeah.
just like the check boxing. Um, but also, Seth, let's talk a little bit about the timing of this season, right? So the season starts in September, which means season 4.5 starts in October, which means Halloween skins possibly, Halloween event,
Spooky.
Halloween event possibly. Maybe we could do something cool with Blade where there's like an infected mode or something like that, where you land your anti-heal ability and it turns characters into like zombies or something, or vampires or something like that, and you got to go
Yeah, that
around
would
and
be cool.
try to infect
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff too. I think that's definitely an opportunity. We didn't have this game last Halloween, so it would be a missed opportunity if there is nothing like that. Doesn't have to be that particular game mode,
Yeah.
but something seasonal, something spooky, something autumnal or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I imagine we're gonna get a sick like Halloween event pass or something like that to progress
And
through.
there are a lot of opportunities for gooners too, like, sexy nurse, Luna Snow, you know,
Mhm.
just I don't know what is a
Sexy,
male.
sexy cop, Captain America.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like what's the like Chippendales model, Chippendales
There
calendar or
you go.
whatever.
Yeah.
Sexy firefighter. All right.
Hmm.
All right, we got it. We figured it out, boys.
Hire us, NetEase. We can goon with the best of them. All right.
We're here. We're here. We can teach you. We
We'll draw it for you. We,
in exquisite detail.
um, but no, I mean, like, look, it doesn't have to be a lot. I do hope that they come out with some sort of system though that like takes going back to the previous comment that we got at the beginning of the show that like they announce something that like takes you beyond Lord, right? That kind of gives you an incentive to revisit some characters, right? Like I haven't really invested a whole lot of time into the Invisible Woman as of late. And it's not because I don't like playing Invisible Woman. And it's not even because I'm really like chasing lords all over the place. I kind of just find myself close to a lord and then decide to just go for it. But, I would go back to Invisible Woman to prestige a lord or get master or whatever they want to call the next level or whatever. So,
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I kind of I almost feel disincentivized because I'm really bad completionist. Like some it's a little bit of an OCD thing for me sometimes. Like I feel like I'm checking off lists. So like my first Lord was Cloak and Dagger, and I'm pretty guilty of not really playing a lot of Cloak and Dagger after I got Lord with her and definitely some change like past Lord, but I haven't really bounced back to her except when I'm playing comp, if that's kind of like a good fit for that. If I want somebody with like that suction, that drain power, if I need to go like anti witch or spider or something like that, then I might switch to her if I'm playing that strat role. And I feel like it's kind of like riding a bike. That makes me feel less guilty. Like I still feel like I'm pretty good at maneuvering those cooldowns, managing those, and like I kind of fall back into that role. And so grinding a bunch of these characters in quick play, I do feel like helps as long as you're doing it intentionally. You're not just grinding for Lord. If your goal is to kind of try to get better and to strategically think about some of the things that you're doing,
yeah, for sure. Definitely.
not just playing the game, but playing the game,
Hmm. Hmm.
gaming the play.
Yeah, playing with some intentionality. And the thing I try with Lord, a lot of times I don't even like know what the challenges are that I need to complete to do it. I'm just like, I know I'm naturally going to complete them, right? So it's not like
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I have to land 700 terror capes or whatever in order to progress.
Yeah, and like, how do you keep a mental tally of that? Like, it's pretty hard to do. I feel like it's not impossible because like, how do numbers work? So for sure, I think again, like too, the more you do something, like this is I read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. I think it's kind of an old book now over the summer. It's nonfiction. You'd like it. Have you read this?
I have not.
So it comes up a lot in like education, or at least it used to. But like he talks about this idea that like it's pretty basic too, but, like, the more time you spend doing something, the the better you'll be at it, and that, like, most masters, like, most people that are really celebrated in their fields meet this requirement or this, like, milestone where they've at least spent 10,000 hours doing something, and so, probably not gonna reach 10,000 hours in Marvel Rivals, but the more time you spend with these characters, playing around with them, getting to know them, from the back end, the more you're going to the more you're going to excel at the game in different ways, whatever capacity you want that to be.
Hmm. Yeah.
Don't just one trick Jeff forever, like one trick him for a while. Get a second trick in there, a third trick, a fourth trick. We can get 10 tricks deep. I'm not scared.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine we're going to start getting some season 4 news here probably next week. I mean, which is
It's
crazy to
got to
think
be. Yeah,
about.
I mean, it's
Like,
coming up soon.
yeah, I mean, we've only got 2 weeks left in this season after, come next episode. Excuse me. So, So yeah, I imagine we're gonna start getting season 4 news fairly soon. And I'm looking forward to it. So but we will have all that news for you as soon as it drops next week. If we haven't gotten news by next week, we'll probably do some predictions. We'll maybe talk about some meta shifting stuff. That's probably the other thing I really want to see is like a long list of patch notes where they're just shaking shit up, because I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
these last couple of patches, yeah,
it's been cool keeping it stable, but I do, yeah, I kind of agree that we need to mix it up a little bit. We need to let the poop hit the fan
yeah, yeah. Let's have some fun
in
with
a
it, man.
good way.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can always revert your changes if everybody hates it. Let's go wild with it, baby. All right.
You bad rivals.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week, guys. What do you want to see in season 4 in the next couple weeks? Let us know in the comments below. Seth, what are you going to get up to in Rivals this week? You going to play more than once this week?
I am. I'm honestly like we're talking about it today, and it makes me kind of want to get back on tonight. I'm probably not gonna because it's getting a little late here on the East Coast. Uh, but it would be cool. I do think I'm gonna lean into it a little bit more this week and this weekend. Try to knock out some of this past stuff. I don't lose my past, right? Like whatever the last event was, it
No,
still
no.
just
Yeah.
sticks around.
Yeah, you can keep
Yeah.
keep progressing on it. So,
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I do definitely want to play a little bit more. I do want to at least like just hit gold. I'm not really worried about comp milestones in this season, but I do kind of want to hit those skins. I'm at silver 1, like near the top, so I just need to get over the hump, and I'll be good. I can be done with competitive for 3.5.
yeah, I'm honestly like knowing that my rank is going to reset every 2 months. I'm like, how much time do I even want to spend doing this shit? You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how often your rank resets in League of Legends?
I imagine it's months.
Once a year. That's it.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So like you have all year to grind, and like I don't know, once 6 times a year just seems crazy to me. The more I think about it, so I mean, look, if a season gets its hooks in me, and I just really want to play ranked a lot, I'm down. But like for the most part, I'm just like I just want to get my gold rewards, and I'm cool. Like I don't need to go on. I don't need to go into comment sections and be like, as a grandmaster player, my opinion is more valid. Um, I just don't feel the urge. So
Yeah, I want it for the love of the game. I want, when it kind of hits me, when it scratches that itch like it did late, like 1.5, maybe like 2.0. And I think that's when we really like at the top of our competitive play, like just in terms of how much time we spent.
yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna play. Probably finish my battle pass this week. I'm almost done with it, so that's
Hmm.
pretty much it.
Cool.
But all right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for us this week. Wherever you're listening to us, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Rival Banter, and we'll be back next week to talk to you more about season 4 of Marvel Rivals. And until then, good luck in your games, and we love you. Goodbye.
Peace.